Hello and welcome to the Digital 360 Chat After Chat. And today we have Jen Coe as our guest. And if you are on Twitter, hopefully you are connected to Jen. I've connected with Jen, gosh, 2, 3, 4 years ago. But she is active. She is all over the place. She's providing value like crazy every single day. I don't know how you have enough time, but she is also the, as you say, the boss lady or the lady boss. At Xstan. You're also an account manager at Now Marketing Group, a speaker, and a podcaster. And you are doing absolutely everything. And I got to show you this real quick.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember this.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Tim's book. Absolutely.
So I purchased this probably 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Now for a bit.
And here you are on page 31.
Oh, it's so funny. I have a bunch of those books in my car. Like,
oh, that is funny. But this is one of the first social books that I actually bought when I finally got back onto Twitter. And in some of the chats, I ran into Tim, and he was talking about his book, and it's like, I've got to get it. But what's really great about it is this, not necessarily the stories, but how people are using Twitter to engage, how to grow their community, how to, really take advantage of the platform to build relationships, to listen, to grow, to share. And it's been incredible.
It is. I love his roundup. He had a really awesome roundup. Bunch of great people in there.
He did. And I mean, I still refer to it occasionally. And now when I look at it, it's like, well, I know who most of these people are now. And that's what's pretty cool about it, that you can relate back to then and even to now. So tell us more. I know we just got the Twitter chat, and of course you're limited to 280 characters, but tell us more about your background. And it's one that I love hearing, but want to hear some more about it.
It's a wild one. There's one part that I didn't even mention in the Twitter chat. It just came back. So I have a degree in psychology. And so once I got out of college, I kind of just went straight into social services. I worked with foster care, kids in the foster care system, and did supervised visits. And then I worked with pregnant teens and made goals and things like that with them. And then I realized kind of wanted to switch careers, and I got into marketing. I was fascinated with marketing. So I went for an MBA, got out of that, and went directly to the Wichita Eagle and was selling digital ads. But the guy that was, I guess, VP of advertising at the Wichita Eagle, Tony Berg, just drilled Google into our heads. Like, I have never had such an intense training, really? like this training from Tony Berg. I will never forget. But they put me in charge of some of their social media channels at the Eagle, and so I took those, flew with them. But in the meantime, I was also teaching Zumba. I taught Zumba for about 8 years, and the very first Facebook page I ever created was Zumba with Jen. And I had so much fun building that Zumba page, talking about my events, what classes I was going to be teaching that week, what I was going to wear to the classes, what new music was on the playlist. I had a blast making that community, and then realized I think that I really like social media marketing. And so then I took an internship in Kansas City for 3 months, got hired immediately after here into an agency, and then eventually ended up at Social Media Examiner of all places. It's been wild.
It's been interesting. I mean, what is your perspective over the last several years of how social has changed, how the channels have changed, how people really engage and all that? I mean, being someone that's been in it for as long as you have, you've seen quite a lot of differences along the way.
Oh my gosh, I know. I remember back in the very first Twitter chat I think that I ever actually participated in was one with, I guess, Brian Fanzo. Okay. And his friend. They hosted it together. I think it was S-Biz Hour, so Social Biz Hour.
Okay.
So I started getting in touch with like Brian Fanzo, and then that whole entire community and the community at Social Media Examiner, just kind of tweeting around and trying to get my feelers out. And but then, then comes Blab and live video and all this other crazy stuff. And then comes stories, which is like, for me, that was a hard thing to fathom. Wait, this only stays up for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Snapchat. Instagram, and now LinkedIn, Twitter, everybody has it now. Like there's stories everywhere. And then this year with Clubhouse, I remember everyone's been saying ever since, gosh, I can remember, it's going to be the year of video. It's going to be the year of video. This year is so different because we're all on video all the time. This is the year of audio. It's just
I didn't see that one coming, honestly.
I didn't see it coming either, but it does make sense. We don't have to be camera ready for social audio, which is kind of nice.
And I have been in, some of the Clubhouse rooms, and I think I love it because as you engage with people so much on Twitter, to actually hear their voices and to hear what they sound like, it's adding more of that additional element that, we don't get on Twitter and some of the other social channels.
I love it. Like I'm hearing people's voices that I haven't heard in almost a year because we don't get to see each other right now. But then getting to hear the voices of all of my friends like everywhere is it's so cool. And then people that I've not necessarily ever met in person, still you, Bernie. I know it was supposed to happen last summer, but then COVID. So.
I mean, that's crazy.
I cannot believe we've never met in person yet. That's just bizarre to me.
It's crazy. But I mean, and that's what's great about some of these chats. You go to them, because I went to Content Marketing World 2 years ago. And met, that community. I met the Taco Chat community, met Content Chat. So you meet all these people in person, and when you finally meet them, because you've had that relationship, because you've engaged with them, a lot about them that, it becomes more, and this is from Todd Cordell from a lot of the chats as well, but, it's hugs instead of handshakes. And, it's a totally different experience when you finally do get to meet people, and it's so much fun.
Yeah. You can never replace a hug or handshake or a selfie.
No, not at all. Not at all. And when you do look at the, you kind of mentioned it earlier, the landscape now with social, where you've got stories, there's so much going on. How do you find enough time to even know what to do with each one of them? Because there's stories on Instagram, there's stories on LinkedIn, there's stories now on Twitter. And myself, I find it I'm very overwhelmed by a lot of it.
I was just talking to my boss, Jackie, the other day about this on Monday. I was like, there's so much we have to be doing all the time. And then I go, you know what I'm going to do? Forget it. Like, I'm done. I'm going to start time blocking when I'm going to do stories for all of my clients every day. I'm just going to put it on the calendar, make sure it happens. You have to do it like that because there's so much you can do with everybody. If you don't line it out for yourself on a calendar, like that's what works for me. You don't have to do that, but it works very well for me. In fact, it works so well for me that I see it on my calendar when I check my calendar first thing in the morning, and I go ahead and just do it in the morning to get it over with anyway. So it's working, not in the way I thought it would, but I feel like you just have to plan. You have to manage your time in the way that works best for you to get it to happen.
And you mentioned the content calendar is
key.
And when you've got all these multiple channels. So when you look at what you do every day, what is the favorite social aspect or social part of what you do every day?
I think it really depends on the day because I love talking to my coworkers. One of my favorite days of the week is Friday. So we have our Friday call here in just a few minutes for now. But, for Xstand, I just initiated last night. I'm like, we need to have a Wichita Xstanders roundup meetup. And we're going to do photography. We're going to hang out with each other. And we're just going to get some really good marketing material, but make some really cool memories, touch base with our Wichita community. We have these people here. Why don't we just hang out with them? A lot of them are my friends anyway, so it doesn't make it that hard. And then with Making a Marketer, we've been having a lot of fun entertaining the idea of Clubhouse, having what you're doing right now.
Right.
We have our episode recording, and then we take it over to Clubhouse and have kind of a recap after the Facebook Live.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's been so much fun. The time just flies away when you're actually having real, audio conversations instead of it all being typed out in the comments section or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I totally get that. Because I like the chats, but now that we've gotten more into video, it's I want to do more of the video or, more of the face-to-face and more of the engagement. But, I still like the chats. I'll still do those, but I love this part of it now. And 2 years ago, I would have never done this. I would have never been active in this. I would have had nothing to do with video, but it helps get you into a different mindset and mind frame of how you communicate and the way you go about it. So
Yeah.
you mentioned something earlier, a few minutes ago, and you have done so much over the last couple of years, but you have a new venture yourself
Yeah.
that you are a co-owner with. Tell us more about the X Stand.
Oh, wow. Oh, the X Stand is just something I would have never fathomed. It's so funny. It fell into my lap. It's a laptop stand. It's the craziest thing. I posted about this X Stand. It's a bamboo standing desk. And I I got it. I thought it was the coolest thing. I posted so much about it on social media that when the owners decided they didn't want to do the business anymore, instead of killing it, they're like, hey, let's reach out to Jen and see if she wants to take it over. So I was like, I can't do this by myself. I need somebody dependable to do this with me. So I asked my boyfriend. He's a very creative, driven, motivated, amazing person. And he said yes. And so we've been doing this together since July. And we have a really cool guy named Patrick, who is our bamboo cutter. He's our CNC guy. And I don't know, the whole thing has just been really, really cool. We're friends with Patrick, where we do things ourselves at home. Everything is ran out of this desk right behind me. I have a big old thing of bubble wrap right behind this chair that I'm sitting in, because that's what we have X in to send them out.
It's made in the USA. It's made in Wichita.
Veteran owned and woman owned, because Tim's a veteran.
Okay, well that is awesome though. But,
Yeah.
Just knowing your social background, you have, some social plans, initiatives that you're going to do with this brand that that we can expect to see.
Yeah, what we really want to do talking. So we want to make sure that we want to proceed forward with it being kind of like a healthy lifestyle brand, where we're highlighting the cool entrepreneurs and the people in the community that have an X Stand, how they're using it, and then providing people with health tips and posture tips, and just really turning it into a rootless kind of mindset where you can literally work from everywhere, have a healthy lifestyle, and just pull all of that in together to be the X Stand vibe is what we have in mind. So we're getting started with it. It's going to be large, and we're hoping to have a merch store and all that kind of cool stuff. So it's exciting.
Well, knowing your capabilities, I can't wait to see where you all take it, because I think it's going to be pretty amazing. But I need an X Stand for my desk to where I've got two monitors, 27-inch, where you can kind of hide it away, but a stand that looks pretty cool. So there's hopefully an idea for you, because I would be the first person to purchase something like that. But I just love the idea, and anybody that's followed you over the years has seen your X Stand at many a conference.
This is true. I don't go anywhere without it, and that's one of the first things we did when we took the brand over, is we made it smaller to fit in backpacks. So it is a little bit different than the original X Stand, which is the one that I'm using right now, because it's a tiny bit smaller. I think it's a 1/4 of an inch smaller, but just enough to actually be completely mobile and portable and able to go anywhere with you. So,
which is cool.
Yeah.
So this past year has been, a challenge. People really not really going many places. So how have you adapted to working from home, to having to do video chats, conferences with your teams all across the US? I mean, what's that been like for you?
As a person that really loves being around people, and a person that really feeds off of other people's energy, it's certainly been a challenge, but I honestly believe that it's technology and the ability to do the kind of stuff that we're doing right now. We're able to sit here and have a conversation with a friend in real time. It's different because you can see facial expressions and everything. And I think having the ability to use things like Zoom, Google Meet, FaceTime, all of those kinds of things, we are so lucky to have that stuff. I selfishly am insanely lucky to have that stuff because I get to see my people and not, be so sad all the time because I love people. I love my house, but I just really love people, Bernie.
I'm with you there. That's the one thing that I miss every day from going to work is, the first half hour, 45 minutes, you go get your coffee. In my instance, it was go get a Mountain Dew, but then you stop by everybody's desk and you don't talk about work, but you talk about what they did, what they're doing. And, that's a big part of, at least it was a big part of my day that absolutely missed. My family's not as keen to me jumping into their office space asking 40 questions in the morning. No. Or interrupting their class time or anything like that. They're not a big fan of that, but I mean, the social aspect of it and just, I guess, the way people have adapted has been pretty cool and seeing that.
It's been really cool. I remember yesterday on the news and all over social, they were talking about, it's been a year since basically everything shut down kind of. And then I follow this family on Facebook called the Holderness family. I'm sure a lot of people follow them too, but they put out funny family videos all the time. But yesterday got my heart because they put out one about what are the dogs going to do when we go back to work. And it literally almost brought me to tears. I was like, I don't know if this is healthy.
I think about that all the time because we adopted a dog almost a year ago. And we named him Dallas, but
Dallas.
after the Cowboys. But but this poor dog does not know any different. I mean, when we actually go someplace and leave and have to put him in his den, he goes crazy because he's always been out almost for a full year, and it's hard on the poor little guy.
Yeah, it's been a different style for them too because we're home all the time.
Yes,
I don't know.
And it's crazy. So you are also an account manager at Now Marketing Group. Tell us, I mean, I don't know how you find enough time in the day to do everything you do, but tell us more about your role at Now.
Oh gosh, I love what I do for Now because I have wonderful clients. Jessica and my boss Jackie have done a fantastic job of matching account managers up with clients. Like I don't know if it's personality or our interests or what it is, but they mix it all together and they pair us up with clients that are really good fits for each one of us, which means that when we write their social media content, create their social media content, we're pretty much naturally doing exactly what we would do because we're so passionate about what we're talking about. Now, I love client meetings because that's when I actually get to talk to my clients and set goals and brainstorm. Yes. And that is something that I didn't necessarily have when I worked for Social Media Examiner because I was focusing on one brand. So to have clients and a group of people that I get to brainstorm in a lot of different directions, I really love that part of it. But then I love the team. I can't even tell you, we have so many talented people that I would have never dreamed of. I've known them for years. I never would have fathomed I'd get to work on the same team with a lot of them. And everyone is just so positive, talented, and it's indescribable. It's such a positive experience. I love it.
It is, and Tony's on here actually.
Oh, yay! He does everything.
And he was on a chat a couple of weeks ago, and I want to get him on this. But his background, I mean, it's amazing. Some of the Google ads that he's doing, his background, and digital, social marketing, it's incredible. But it's one of those where you could probably have a conversation for hours just talking about all the opportunities and experiences and what you've done and haven't done. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so cool to think that I work for the agency that has the Tony Does ads on the team. Like, it's for real. It is so I fangirl over our team members. Like, it's awesome.
Well, and Jessica, I mean, she's such an inspiration anyway, in the way she's been able to build her business and build her brand. She's speaking all over the place, but it's a huge accomplishment to do what she's been able to do and still maintain. I mean, how is it working with Jessica? I know you've been connected with her for quite a few years, and it's a fun dynamic to watch her. And I mean, just a small story. So she sent me my invite to Clubhouse, and I was sitting there and I messaged her back and I was like, this is interesting. She's like, well, I can give you a quick demo. Okay, mind you, this was on a Tuesday night, either Tuesday or Thursday at midnight. She's walking me through Clubhouse.
He's so
And I'm like, how do you have enough time in the day to do everything that you do? And her response was, everyone has 24 hours. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, you've got 3 kids, you've got a business you're running, and you're spending time helping someone else. Facing a stranger walk through. I mean, it just says so much about her character, the type of person she is. I mean, it's incredible.
Her heart is solid gold, like solid gold. Like she literally lives what she says. It's amazing to me. Like she literally lives what she says. I'm so proud to work for her. It's really, really just mind blowing.
Oh, that's cool. Well, open up this position for me. I want to come work for you.
It's amazing, Bernie. Nothing like it.
So I know, another part of this year is, no conferences, anything like that, and I know the answer to this because we talked about it in the chat, but what is the one that you're looking forward to that is hopefully going to happen later this year?
Oh my gosh. Well, obviously Social Media Week Lima. It's like summer camp for social media people. Like it's the best thing ever. It is so much fun. I'm so excited. And I've never met my teammates yet. So I really want to meet a lot of my teammates.
And what's special about, Social Media Week or Lima Week?
Social Media Week Lima it's great because it is the biggest social media marketing conference in the Midwest, but it's also where so many people come from all over the nation to speak in Lima, Ohio, which is phenomenal. The caliber of speakers that we get out at Social Media Week Lima is literally top tier, and the gamut of the of the facets of marketing that are covered is absolutely phenomenal. I love that it's so intimate and that there's a lot of time to connect with other people face to face and really spend true time with them. Whereas, a ginormous conference with thousands and thousands of people, you might go the entire conference without seeing one person that you really did want to see, but you were you were so overwhelmed by everything else that was going on, you totally forgot about it. That's a great thing about Social Media Week Lima. You see these people all the time. You pass them 5-6 times in the building. You're gonna see
like you said, it's a much smaller conference, at least from what I've been able to gather over the years, just following what people are commenting on, and even the pictures of people showing, the attendees and even the speakers. It looks pretty cool.
Phenomenal. It's just indescribable. It's such a great experience.
That is.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up, so I've got to ask, are you a Royals fan or a Cardinals fan?
Royals.
Royals? Oh my gosh.
Far.
So I had a buddy of mine paint me this. So obviously I'm not a Royals fan.
Oh gosh, I've been a Royals fan since I believe it was 2005. That's when I played my first Royals game. And yeah, I've been a Royals fan it's hard to be a Royals fan sometimes. Sometimes it's really, really fun.
Yes.
But it's kind of like being a Chiefs fan. Sometimes it's hard. Now, really
you're going to be fine for the next few years with the Chiefs. But yeah, we had
riding like this.
In Louisville, we had the AAA Cardinals here for 18, 20 years. So that's one of the reasons why, if you're wondering why in Louisville are you a Cardinals fan, but that is why.
Oh yeah, well, and I'm just a sports fan, all the time. If there's sports, I can find joy.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you again for, not only being on the Twitter chat today, but actually coming on the After Chat. I mean, it's so much, I love it because we can actually talk face to face and, you can talk more than 280 characters, but, the visual aspect of it. And I am so looking forward, hopefully, to meeting you in person in Lima later this summer. And hopefully it happens with a whole lot of other people. But I hope you have a great weekend. And thank you so much for coming on and being a guest today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Bernie. This has been a fantastic morning. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you.
And I hope you have great time with your team meeting here in a little bit. And say hi to everybody for me.
I will. I absolutely will do that.
All right. Well, you have a great weekend, and we will be, I guess, in touch out on Twitter, like always. All right. Thank you, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Bernie.